Hey everybody, what's up from Pokemon Classics, reminding you that the classics never go out of style. This is a slightly different video than usual, but this is a collection video, and recently I was going through my boxes and my binders and storage, looking for cards potentially to send into PSA for the $18 grading special here in July. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be sending any of these cards in, but I was pretty excited because I came across my first edition base set box of commons, uncommons, and non-holo rares, and it's a pretty substantial and impressive find, so I wanted to share it with all of you. Now anyway, in this box there's about 700 first edition base set cards, all of which I would say are in near mint to mint condition, probably in that PSA 8 range, maybe some 9s, possibly some 10s, then a few that are maybe a little bit lower than that. I also have another box for cards that are a bit more played and in moderate wear condition, but it's still pretty exciting. So without further ado, let's take a look at some cards. Now, I know I said that these are non-holo cards, but I do actually have a couple holographics in here. Most of my holos from first edition base set I've graded a long time ago, but I do have this Alakazam that's been sitting in the box for a bit. And the problem with this one is it's otherwise really great condition, but you gotta watch out for those binder dents. You can see that dent right up here, and that's the problem with using 3-ring binders. Some of you know this from experience, but if you're not careful with how the pages close, you'll end up denting the card, and that'll drop it down to a PSA 6 at best. This one I would expect to get a little bit lower because it is a pretty noticeable dent, but the card otherwise is in really great condition. Now, a couple that I do have that are in great, perhaps mint or gem mint condition, are these two Machamps. And these are the shadowless version that comes from the 2-player theme deck, the starter deck. And you'll notice that these are in the original cellophane wrappers. And this is actually how I got them years and years ago, was in these top loaders. Probably not the best way to store these, so I'll probably transfer these over into card savers once this video is over. Well, we've got this one. After looking through both of these pretty carefully, I'm almost certain that they'll end up getting PSA 9s. The centering's not quite good enough, I would say, for 10s on these. Very clean cards, though. Backside there, again, you can see the cellophane wrap is folded over on the top and the bottom. Not sure that's the best way to be storing it, but I digress. Next, we have the non-holographic rares, and I did a quick head count, and there's actually 67 rare cards. The vast majority of them, though, are actually trainer cards, which is a bit unfortunate because the Pokemon are a lot more exciting in this set. All right, for non-holo rares, we'll just flip through these real quick. Well, we've got one Beedrill. We've got one Dragonair. I know that one's a fan favorite for most collectors. Dugtrio, the hot dog Pokemon, we've got a few of those. For Electabuzz, we got 2. Very playable card when the game originally came out. Electrodes, we got 2 of those in rare. And then my personal favorite out of the rares is Pidgeotto. I know that's maybe a bit of a controversial position, but you think of the anime, and Ash had a Pidgeotto, and it was one of his go-to Pokemon, so I've always liked Pidgeotto. Now, when it comes to non-holo rares, the trainer cards don't get anywhere near the same level of attention or love as the other cards do, but that's understandable. That's the last thing you want to do, is pull a non-holo trainer when you're opening a base set pack. I can only imagine how much more disappointing that is if the pack were a first edition pack. But nevertheless, here are some of the first edition trainers. All right, we'll start out with everybody's favorite disappointment, Clefairy Doll. And for some reason, this is the one that I have the most of. And just as I've been buying collections over the years, that's where I've gotten these cards from. And a lot of them I've just put off to the side if I wasn't going to grade them. And I have graded a few, but most of these have just been sitting in the box in storage since 2012, 2013, when I first started buying them. So let's see how many were in this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Well, that's a lucky number. Moving on, we've got Computer Search, which is actually a very useful card in decks. It's more playable, certainly, than Clefairy Doll. Got 3 of those. Then we've got some de-evolution sprays. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. It's one card that I've never graded in a PSA 10. One that I have, though, is Imposter Professor Oak. And this card actually got a reprint in Celebrations, which is pretty cool. One thing that a lot of people don't notice about it is the background has like bullet holes in the wall, which I think is a little bit controversial for Pokemon to be using that illustration in the kids game. But anyway, we've got 3, 4, 5, 6 Imposter Professor Oaks. The next one is Item Finder, and this is actually one of the more difficult to grade trainer cards. And I actually have graded one of these in a PSA 10, which I currently have listed on eBay. It has really fluctuated in price over the years, and I'm not in a hurry to sell it, but that's one that's kind of interesting. So we got 1, 2, let's see if we can get that to focus. There we go. 3 item finders, 4, 5, 6. Got 6 item finders. Then we've got everybody's favorite trainer card. That's Lass. In terms of Lass, we got 3. Lass was one of the most difficult trainer cards to grade as well, and it is one of the ones that I have graded before in a PSA 10. Long since sold that one, but it was exciting to get that one in a 10. Next we got Pokemon Breeder. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Pokemon Breeders. Again, with these cards, they're all near mint or better. You can see there's not a ton of edge wear there on the back. Looking pretty nice. There are occasional dots and, maybe a little bit off center on occasion, but most of these are pretty good shape. Then we have Pokemon Trader. And in terms of Pokemon Trader, I've got 1 of those, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 Pokemon Traders. Farfetch'd is one of my favorite Pokemon, so as far as trainers go, this is one that I actually like. One that makes you wonder what were they thinking with the illustration is the Scoop Up. Like, look how pathetic this illustration is. You just have a Weedle and it's going into the Pokeball. Really weird facial illustration there too, especially on the eyeball. Got 3 of those in first edition. And I have graded one of these in a PSA 10. I can't remember if I sold that one or if that one's still sitting on my eBay store. Never completed an entire first edition base set in PSA 10. I've never actually tried, but I do have a 9 set. And last, we've got Super Energy removals. Again, very playable card. We've got 5 of those. That wraps it up for the trainers. All right, I don't want this to take too long, so we'll do a quick speed run through the commons and uncommons, but a lot of them have really great classical artwork, and so I do feel like they're worthy of some recognition. So we'll do a quick flip through. So some of my favorite artworks in all of Pokemon come from the uncommons in base set. Arcanine is one of them. Charmeleon. Really like Charmeleon. Dugong, you can see that I have an army of Dugongs. Like, some Pokemon just show up a lot more in the collections that I've purchased over the years, and Dugong happens to be one of those that's been very easy to find. Dratini, only have 1 remaining Dratini. That's another one of the uncommons that I really like. Now, I mentioned this earlier, but Farfetch'd, one of my favorite Pokemon. We have 3 of those. Rowlith happens to be one of the more difficult uncommons to grade. I believe this one still has a pretty low population in a PSA 10. Out of all the ghost Pokemon, Haunter is my personal favorite, and this might get me some hate in the comments, but I actually like Haunter more than Gengar. You guys will have to let me know where you weigh in on that debate, but maybe some of you like Ghastly the most. Ivysaur, I only have 1 of those left. Most of the starters and their evolutions I've already sent to PSA. And for Jinx, I've actually got quite a few Jinxes. And that makes up the last one. We'll slide that stack of uncommons out of the way and load up on round 2. Now, another one of my favorite Pokemon, Kadabra. I really like the red background on this, and he's just holding that spoon menacingly. One more Kadabra there. Kakuna, not one of the favorites out there. I know Kakuna doesn't get a lot of respect or admiration amongst the Pokemon community. A lot of Kakunas, there's more. There you go. Maybe they'll evolve into Beedrills, and then I'll have more rares. Got Machoke, flexing. Magikarp, it's a Pokemon that people either love or hate, and there's been some great Magikarp artworks over the years. Magmar, one of the fire Pokemon. Brings me back to the anime when Blaine was battling against Ash. It was Charizard versus Magmar in an epic battle. Get some room for our next stack. Now this is another one that doesn't get a lot of love from people, but Nidorino. I really like Nidorino. I mean, you think back to like that opening in the Game Boy and in the anime where Nidorino and Gengar are fighting. It's classic. And I am Pokemon Classics after all. Ton of Nidorinos. You can build like a whole wall out of these. Same with Poliwhirl. Another one that's just like disproportionately common in all the collections that I've purchased over the years. In fact, there's still more coming after that. It was one of the first cards that I saw in first edition, so it always brings me back to that moment. Being over at a friend's house, flipping through binders and seeing a first edition base set card. It was pretty mind-blowing at that time. Porygon is a Pokemon that I always thought was pretty cool. Very different, unusual compared to the other originals. You know, it's this three-dimensional polygon body. You didn't see a lot of those 3D rendered artworks back in the early days. And our next stack of uncommons, we're going into Raticate to start with. It's interesting because Raticate was an uncommon in base set, and I know in Team Rocket, the Dark Raticate was a common, and I think it was the only dark Pokemon, like the second stage, or the first tier evolution, that happened to be a common card in that set. Then we have Seal. Seal's kind of a goofy one. Again, one of the ones that's more common to find, or at least it has been for me over the years. We got a lot of Seals. My pile's getting disorganized. You guys will have to forgive me. I'm gonna have to do some organizing once I'm done filming this video. Hope you don't mind how raw this is either. Like, usually I'm used to filming my videos and editing them and making them look professional, but this is just kind of a flip through. We got one Wartortle. Wartortle number 2. Out of all the base set uncommons, Wartortle is the most difficult to grade. Lowest population, I believe. I do have a bunch of uncommon trainers as well, but for the sake of time, we're gonna skip those and go right into the commons. All right, so first we have Abra. Abra's a really popular one, and a very difficult one to catch in the game because it would just use Teleport and disappear. And I've got quite a mountain of Abras, along with a bunch of other commons, because again, you get more of them per pack, so when I've bought collections, there's usually more there. Caterpie, one of the more difficult to grade commons. As I said, I've already graded a lot of the starters. So for Charmander, not quite as many there. Do have a few more though. Next stack starts with Diglett. Again, the hot dog. Not the one that you're hoping to get when opening a pack, but lots of Digletts. I believe in the Shadowless form, Diglett came with a sideways energy error, which I do have a few of those. And I'm not exactly sure what the origin of that card was. I think it only came from like a theme deck, but I'm not positive on that. Somebody can let me know in the comments if you have more experience with the Diglett error. We've got some Doduos. You didn't get Dodrio until the Jungle set. It's one of the cards that was missing from base. You know, you couldn't actually finish the original 150 Pokemon, or 151 if we're including Mew, until we got through the Fossil set. So those first 3 sets kind of work together as the original base set. Next, we've got Drowsy. One of the stranger psychic Pokemon, I think. Looks like he's ready to go to a rave and do some dancing, especially with the weird colors in the background. Got a bunch of Drowsies. That one, slightly lighter stamp on some of these. They've got like the ghost stamp. Not the ghost stamp, the, I don't know what they call it, the light stamp. The ghost stamp was just the Pikachu card that had the like, the one outlined and then E-Ishin, it was missing like words on it. That one I know only came from the Zap deck, the Shadowless Zap deck. Lots of Coughings. Again, this card has a lot of nostalgia for me. It's one of the first ones that I got from a friend. Wasn't a first edition one though, it was just a regular unlimited card. Then we have some Machops. Machop is a card you probably saw a lot as a kid if you were around in 1999 when Pokemon was originally popular, because pretty much everybody had the starter theme deck, and that one had Machamp in it, so you had 4 Machops. Very easy card to find in Unlimited and Shadowless. First edition, though, a little bit more difficult. The only way you could get those was from the booster packs. Magnemite, Lots of Magnemites here as well. Magneton is one of those Pokemon that had a lot of appearances throughout the Wizards of the Coast era. Magnemite actually appeared as a holographic card in the Neo Discovery set, which is a little unconventional. Then we have Metapod. Epic scene in the original anime where Ash battled with Metapod and he was up against Metapod and literally nothing happened. It was pretty boring to watch. And then our next stack, we're starting with another grass-type Pokemon, and that's Nidoran. Nidoran male. You didn't get the female Nidoran, Nidorina, or Nidoqueen until the Jungle set. As I said earlier, I really like the Nidoking family. Nidoking was one of the first holographic cards that I saw in person. And we have Onix, again, another Pokemon that's pretty influential in the TV show, thanks to Brock. Those are all of my Onixes. I'm going to make some room real quick and then we'll get back into it. All right, before we finish this up with our last stack of commons, let me know down in the comments below, what is your favorite base set artwork? Let me know your favorite rare, your favorite uncommon, and your favorite common card. Now, hopefully we get to hear some Dark Horse picks, some lesser appreciated Pokemon, because I know out there's a lot of great artworks that are worthy of some recognition. Picking up where we left off, we have Pidgey. I know Pidgey is one of the underappreciated artworks in Pokemon in the franchise. And, I mean, that's easy to see why. You have Pidgeotto, which is the one that Ash had. And Pidgeot is a pretty cool Pokemon as well. Pidgey, it's really just a bird. And we've got Poliwag. I don't really know what to say about Poliwag. I like the swirl. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that when they're collecting holographic cards, they're all about that swirl lifestyle. So you're got to be a Poliwag fan then, right? Ponyta, the fire horse. And we didn't get to see the evolution Rapidash until the Jungle set. Then coming back with Rattata, or Rattata, depending on how you pronounce it. I've heard it both ways. This card, I believe, also showed up in the starter deck, in both the Unlimited version as well as the Shadowless version. Sandshrew. I like Sandshrew because I think Sandslash is a really cool looking Pokemon. And Sandslash, another one that didn't show up right away. Had to wait till Fossil set for that one. Squirtle, one of my personal favorites. Although I am more of a Charmander person at heart, Squirtle still has a deep-seated place within my love of the game. Next, we've got some Starmies. This is one of those rare situations where an evolution card was still just a common, and then immediately after that in the numerical set, you have the lower form, the basic form, Staryu. And we've got some Tangelas. Really funny illustration and artwork here, just like the eyes looking out of the blackness. Kind of terrifying if I'm being honest. Got a few more Tangelas here. They're all tangled up, you could say. And we've got Voltorb. Really cool artwork on the Voltorb. I know SM Pratt has pointed that out before. But I like it's almost like a neon light sign. And the final stack of the actual Pokemon, there are some commons that are trainer cards. We got Vulpix, one of my personal favorites. I really like foxes, and in addition to that, Brock had a Vulpix, and just one of the more adorable Pokemon, I would say. This background was actually reused too from the, what was it, the Glossy Mew? The Japanese one. Interesting fun fact for you guys. We have Weedle. See if we can get it to focus. Come on, camera. All right, well, anyway. We have some Weedles. And that is the last one for the common Pokemon cards. Anyway, guys, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these just yet. I intend on taking a really careful look over them here with light, with magnification, checking the borders, the back edges, and seeing if there's any strong PSA 10 candidates. If there are, I'll probably send some off to PSA in July here with my submission, as long as prices are still $18 per card. The vast majority, though, I think I'm going to hang on to. They'll go back into the collection, back into storage. Though I am contemplating posting some of these to my eBay store, as well as maybe trying out TCG Player. That's a platform I haven't actually used as a seller yet, though I've been meaning to try it out, so We'll see what happens with that. Well, thanks for making it this far in the video. I'm Pokemon Classics, reminding you that the classics never go out of style. Till next time, everybody, stay well and enjoy collecting. We'll see y'all with the next one. Bye, everybody. Hey guys, I just wanted to say a quick thanks to my patrons for supporting the channel. If you have any interest in becoming a patron yourself, check out the link to my Patreon below. For more market analysis videos, you can click on one of these two. They're pretty good, at least I think so. Anyway, you should go check them out. I dare you. I don't really know what else to say, so I'll just disappear now. Bye-bye.